Hello everyone, welcome back to Nerdy Crew. So today we'll be doing a count digits program using Java. You can use a language of your preference. So let's start with it. So for the first step, we'll be building a logic around it, and in the second step, we'll be using a code editor to code this program. So let's take a random number 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Here you can clearly see that the total number of digits is 5. But let's assume right now we don't know the number of digits. So we are starting the count from 0. So now, how do we start calculating the number of digits? Look here. Can you see that there is one digit here? You're like, yes, there is a digit here. So once you find the first digit, increment the value of count to 1. So you can see that this digit is already being counted, right? So what are we going to do? Now, we have to get rid of this digit, right? We have got to get rid of this digit in the next step. So now what are we going to do again? Again, you can see that there is a digit. So you will be like, let me increment the value of count again, because now already 2 digits have already been calculated, right? This is the digit, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Up until now, you have already calculated. Again, in the next step, you will be like 2, 4, 6 only, because 8 is already calculated, right? So now, here again you find a digit and then you increment it again, right? So the count becomes 3. In the next step, you will be left with 24, right? This is also calculated, only these 2 digits are the remaining ones. So here you will see that there is another digit. So this becomes 4, and then at last you will be left with 2. So you will be like, the count is 5. And in the next step, you will be left with nothing, right? You will be left with 0 digits. So therefore, this becomes your final answer. So what are the steps that we are taking? So the first step is that you are incrementing the value of count, right? You are incrementing the value of count. So step number 1. Increment the value of count. Once you have incremented, what are you doing? You are getting rid of the last digit. Here you don't have this digit, right? So in every step, you are getting rid of the previous last digit and you are creating a new last digit. So step 2 is get rid of last digit. Right? This is how you are going about, and all of this should happen in a loop. So how to increment the digits? You know this. We can simply do it by count plus plus. Right? This is how we increase. But how do we get rid of the last digit is the question now. So take a look over here. For example, we simply take a 3-digit number 326 and divide it by 10. So 10 times 3 is equal to 30. You are left with 2. And then 10 times 2 is 20 and you are left with 6. So you can clearly see that in this question, we are getting rid of the last digit, right? Now we don't have the 6th here. So this is how we are going to proceed. Fine, take a look again. Now we have the new number as 32. Again, we'll divide it by 10. So it will be 3, 30 and 2 will be left, right? Again, we have got rid of the last digit. Now finally, the number which will be remaining will be 3. And so again, we'll divide it by 10. So this will be 0.3, right? This will be your answer, 0.3. So we can see that 3 divided by 10 gives us 0.3. But here is the catch. The catch is if your input number in Java is an integer, your output will also be integer. Okay, remember that. So what happens when you divide this n by 10? You don't get it as 0.3, you get the number only 0. For example, if it is 3, so you will only get 0. It means that you don't have any number left, which means that you can clearly see that we are looping here, right? We are doing this process again and again of counting and then again getting rid of the last digit. So what are we going to do? In the pseudocode, you will see. First we should have a while loop. And what will be in the condition? The condition will be while n is greater than 0. In the last step, you can see that n becomes 0. And if n becomes 0, you have to stop counting the number of digits. Alright? So while n is greater than 0, you can tell that count should be increased. But before increasing the count, you have to initialize it as well. And the step 2 will be that your number should be updated. So it should be n is equal to n by 10. Right? You are doing n is equal to n by 10 because you have to update the original number. I hope you have understood this. So now let's proceed on to the coding part. So here we have our count class. So we will start by creating the main function. So PSVM here. Let's have some integer n. And now let's create the function which will be calculating or counting our digits. So let's have static int count digit function, and in here parameter mein we are going to pass int n, and what is it going to do? First we have to initialize the value of count variables. Okay, so it will be 0. Now we will be starting a while loop while n is greater than 0. Right? What are we going to do while n is greater than 0? We will simply be incrementing the value of count, and in the next step we are going to update our n, so n by 10. Right? So let's call the function here, and at the same time we'll print the value. Here you should return the value of count. Okay, you're returning the value of count. Call this function count digit and pass in the value of n. So let's see if it works. So see, here it is returning the value 6. So the total count is 6. Now let's take some edge cases. For example, if you have a number 0, what are you going to do then? Right? So what are you going to do then? So I can just create a if statement, and in the condition I can write if n is equal to 0, you should be return 1. So let's take a look. After passing, let's see. So yes, you can clearly see that now it is returning 1. But see, if we wouldn't have done this, you will see that the answer will be 0. So this is how we do this count digits program. So here is your task for today. For example, you have a negative number. Let's see what it returns. It's returning 0, right? So your task is that it shouldn't be returning 0, but it should be returning the number of digits in it. So make sure that you comment down this code. If you like the video, make sure that you like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.